That's what I want. All right, awesome. Well, if you are joining live, then thanks for being here. If you're watching this later on the replay, welcome. Hello. Thank you for taking the time to watch this and be a part of this. My name is Allison, and I am going to be presenting today about healthy, confident you in 2022. Who wouldn't want that, right? We are halfway through the month of January already, which is pretty exciting, but to me, it goes to show how fast time flies, and time is going to go by no matter what. So are we going to do something about it? Or are we going to, let it slip by? And then in 6 months from now, a year from now, we're in that same position of nothing's really changed, right? So perfect. There we go. All right. So let's get started. Wait for my screen to follow. There we go. All right. So covering a lot today. I want to make sure you can see this. All right. So what we're going to start with are the 5 reasons why you're not getting results to begin with at all, right? What holds people back? So I'm going to have people watching this that have never met me before, some people who know me really well, some are current clients of mine. So you might be where you want to be with your health, but sometimes maybe you feel like you backtrack or you're not always consistent, or you're not anywhere where you need to be and you need help and you're like, what is stuck? Why am I not getting results? What's holding me back? So we're going to go over that. And hopefully this is going to help you go, aha, if we know what's wrong, we can start addressing it, right? And then from there, using a functional medicine approach, what are the biggest areas of health that you're probably neglecting? And this might be one of those, it feels like the missing piece, right? Maybe you're doing a pretty healthy lifestyle, but something's not coming together. We're going to be talking about that. How to set goals that you're actually going to achieve and get them and stick with them versus like having this on-off cycle. How to then create a plan for those goals, and then secrets and tips to stay motivated, including from some of my long-term successful clients. What works, not just what works for me, but what works for other people as well. So let me go back. All right, so that's much better. All right. If you don't already know me, again, my name is Allison. I am a holistic health practitioner. I'm the owner of my company, Finesse Fitness. I've been in the health and wellness industry since 2008. I started as a personal trainer, loved it, and then fell into everything holistic health and wellness, and then just kept going. I work with clients in person here in Northeast Ohio, where I live, and also online, virtual, from all over the country, which is pretty awesome. And what I help with is specializing in wellness. I call it wellness transformation. So that's looking at you and your life as a whole, and how can I help you change your life and use lifestyle to do that, right? So it's everything from nutrition, movement, exercise, but it's also your stress, your sleep, things like that, your relationships. So putting together plans for my clients, as well as that one-on-one health coaching and accountability that a lot of people they need. We might have the greatest plan, but we need somebody to hold our hand and walk us through. And that's what I do with my clients. Sorry, I keep skipping. Why I got into this is I could spend a whole another half an hour about this, but I have maybe been in the shoes that you have. I've struggled in terms of my own health. I've seen my family members as well struggle with different things. And over the past few years, I felt very disappointed in the current healthcare system. I would go to the doctor and say things are wrong. I'm not feeling like myself. I was given, just a prescription, or we don't know, we can't help you. Nobody was willing to walk beside me and help me through this journey. And it was sad. I would leave crying and disappointed and just so alone. And that fueled my passion to not only ask questions and find the root cause of why I wasn't feeling well, but then also helping others do the same thing, empowering you to know that you can have the power to heal and thrive and to not give up in your body, to find the root causes to why you're not feeling well, and not just settling for just, I just have headaches, or I just feel fatigued all the time, or my gut is always messed up. That's not normal. Those are common, but they're not normal. So I'm here to help people one at a time, revolutionize their health. And with that, challenge our current healthcare system by looking at you as a whole person and using that holistic functional medicine approach. Sorry, I keep skipping. There we go. But all right, so let's get into it. The top 5 reasons why you are not getting results, or you feel like you can't keep them, right? If you feel like you are continuously backsliding, on off, things like that. So we have poor mindset, which is huge, poorly set goals. And then with that, you don't have a plan that's set for those goals. Then you're not making it a lifestyle. You're not committing to the process. And then also the lastly is you don't have a tribe and community for that, and a support system to help you get through them. Okay. All right, number 1 is mindset. And this will be a theme throughout this as well. But big thing about what our actions come from is what our thoughts and our attitudes are, and our beliefs about ourselves, about our abilities, things like that, and about health in general. And so many times we've been bombarded with these negative or not truthful thoughts about ourselves, or been told to use this all or nothing mentality. I talk to many women who struggle with this in terms of they have perfectionism, and they can't seem, if they're not doing well, if they're either really good or really bad. And they're using this really very strict, absolute vocabulary as well. And so when you are setting yourself up basically for failure, right? You're going to burn out, then you're going to feel disappointed, resentful, guilty, disappointed of everything. And then the vicious cycle continues. You're like, well, Monday, next week, next year, I'm going to get back to it. But if you don't ever change anything, it just keeps repeating itself. So mindset and breaking out of that mentality is going to be number 1 for actually getting the results you want. Number 2 is actually setting goals that, again, are realistic. So you're not just shooting yourself in the foot, to actually make them real. So we don't want them too vague, but we don't want them too extreme. Like, for instance, I'm going to eat better. That's too vague. And I'm going to cut out, whatever. I'm going to go on a Whole30 diet for the rest of my life. Well, that's a way too extreme. That's too restrictive. And so there needs to be somewhere in the middle where it's challenging, but you can actually do it. Also, again, it has to have meaning and purpose to you. You can't just do it based on somebody else or what society says. So a lot of people do right now too is New Year's, right? And businesses like companies, gyms, Noom, I've seen the commercials, like they thrive on this time of year because those people need help. And so they're just like, oh, here's a quick fix. Well, that maybe that person wasn't even really ready, but they just felt pressured to do it based on society and what we are told. So making sure our goals actually fit us and our life and why we want to do it. Number 3, again, is not having a plan to our goals. It needs to be personalized. There can't be anything cookie cutter. It never works, right? Each person is so individual in terms of physiology, but also lifestyle and preferences. And you will change over time too. So what you liked and what your body thrived on 5-10 years ago is going to be different than now. So making sure your results are based on making sure it's tailored to you, not somebody else or even what I think. At the end of the day, it's about you knowing your body best. Number 4 is you're not having consistency. And again, you're asking, why are you not consistent? Why are you not making it a lifestyle? Do you still think it's an all or nothing diet mentality? Are you setting yourself up for unrealistic expectations? So you're still asking, what is the root cause of why you keep doing these things, right? We have to, I say, embrace the suck, right? If anyone went to college or went to school or whatever, like this took years. Maybe you had to work for it. You didn't just go to college one day and then and then got your degree, right? You had to put in the effort with anything that you want. And the same thing goes for health. And looking at it in a long-term perspective is that this really is a journey, and it's not an on-off. It's not tomorrow I'm going to start my plan. It's like, this is the plan. This is my life, and I'm taking control of it now. Lastly, you do not have enough support and accountability. We can do a lot on our own, but we can really thrive with other people and support, whether that is a community like this, a professional, things like that, where you're really improving your motivation, encouragement. If you have an issue, you're troubleshooting that. It's a collaboration of knowing, again, you're not alone, like how I felt in the beginning. There are other people going through similar goals and struggles, and using that to help each other and to continue to get results. So these are things that I see in my practice with patients, or people over time. And I see it a lot in society too. So we have limiting beliefs, and you might read through these and go, oh, this might be me a little bit. And that's okay. That's why we're addressing it, right? We might not be changing the minute after we end this webinar, but at least you can start to understand, oh, maybe this is the reason why I do the things I do or don't do, right? Maybe inside you had conflicting beliefs. So a lot of people during the holidays, they want to like make a change, but the holidays are bad, for instance. And then comes the, oh, well, now it's winter, so I can't go out and exercise because it's cold. And then, oh, it's summer and I'm busy and I have plans and there's parties. There's always something that is going to conflict with what we want. And sometimes we feel like we can't have both. And so that's why people just don't do it. Self-fulfilling prophecies, self-limiting beliefs, talked about this before. What are what's the story that you tell yourself and the vocabulary that you use when you're describing things? Also down here, I think it's really interesting when people, again, let's say a month ago during Christmas time, people were like, oh, you should just live a little and like eat that Christmas cookie. And it's okay. Like, just, wait until the new year. And then now let's say you're doing the same thing. Oh, you're eating a cookie. That's not good. But we're okay. Society accepts us if we're trying to diet or exercise now. So it's like, what? Like a lot of our actions are based on our environment, right? Like not only who lives with us, who we're around, who we're surrounded with, but this subconscious messaging that we're getting from our society. And we can't get rid of this completely, right? Like all of this is going to be here, but the more we are aware of it and mindful, the more it puts the control back in your seat. And you could say, yes, no, this is what I want, instead of feeling like always under the bus with things and you feel like you can never make traction. All right. So shifting gears, those were top 5 areas that people struggle with a lot in terms of actually getting the results. And I really want to talk about the next 5 areas that you need to prioritize that are also pillars of health that people miss. And most people think of being healthy as, oh, I'm going to eat right and exercise and maybe, get some good sleep. Okay, fabulous. Maybe, I'm not going to drink alcohol or smoke, even better. But there are other things that you need for the whole picture, especially if you start to have symptoms and issues that, again, are common, but not normal. For instance, headaches, migraines, brain fog, any sort of digestive issues. Again, you can't sleep. Maybe you're gaining weight, you can't lose weight. You're just feeling like puffy, inflamed. You have pain anywhere. Like all of these plus more shows, at least me as a practitioner, that something's not right in the body, that there's a disconnect. And it could be coming from some of these things. So that's why I want to bring them up. So I'm going to go through each one. Number 1, like I said, is your mindset, right? And all of these can be limiting your health because, again, what we think, our attitudes about ourselves affect what we actually do. And another thing too is the body listens to what the brain says. So you could be going to the gym, you could be doing these healthy things, but if you still think that you can't, you won't get the results eventually. You really, truly have to believe that you can and get over those hurdles and mindset beliefs that aren't true and change them. So it's number one, again, being aware of this quote negative mindset, as well as then training your brain to think more positively. Yes, I can slow down, you can take pictures, but know that I'm trying to be aware of time, and I'm also trying to so you're not here for like an hour, and you will get a copy of this slideshow as well, and the whole PowerPoint. So if you miss anything, don't worry, don't stress too much, because I will send you a copy. But thank you. I will try and slow down just a little bit. So that is negative one, or mindset is number one. So some things that people don't like to realize is, again, there's always going to be some sort of excuse or time or something that's going to hold us back, right? There isn't ever going to be the perfect time to do anything, or the best time. You can make it most as realistic as possible, but sometimes we just have to do it. And as we know, procrastination is way easy, right? I'll do it when, I'll be happy when, I'll do blah, 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 blah. And then it just ends up causing more stress, more work later. But know that you can actually be healthy and enjoy your routine in life and not have it take away from your life. It actually should enhance what you do, make your relationships better. You feel better about yourself. Work gets better, all of the above. All right, so physical activity. And most people are like, well, yeah, I know I need exercise. I'm not talking about exercise. I'm talking about how you move during the day. This is what most people forget about. And they'll jump into going to exercise, but then they sit for probably, 15 hours a day, right? Let's say if you work 8 hours a day, and then you're sitting before and after, and you're maybe getting something like, 1,000 steps, 2,000 steps a day. I say this because our bodies are meant to move, and your body and your brain actually thrives on that movement, and your energy, oxygen circulation, blood flow to the brain and back to the body get energized or recharged by that movement. And if you tend to have just like fatigue, low energy, you can't concentrate during the day, it might be your lack of activity might be contributing to this. Could be a factor, right? Most of us have now, especially now that we don't commute, a lot of us, we're at home and we literally don't move, okay? Then you start to feel achy, you're sore, but you're like, I didn't even do anything. Why does my back hurt? Okay, all of these things matter. So exercise is great, but first priority is movement. And we need a nice healthy combination of both. So down here, I put down, what it means, benefits, things like that. But key takeaway is, again, it energizes you from the inside out. It boosts your metabolism. And of course, everybody wants that, right? So not only are you going to feel better, but your calorie burn is going to be higher. You're going to be more metabolically healthy, which is what we need. And it's going to support your results as far as, again, feeling better, digestion, maybe fat loss, body composition goals, etc. Number 3 is your gut health. And I don't have digestive issues, and that's not a problem for me. I can eat anything, and I don't need help in this area. Well, again, a lot of digestive issues and gut health issues can manifest in different ways. So I say this because your gut is technically, it's your large intestine. So it's your colon, and it contains your microbiome, which is, like I said, breaking it down, making it, it's a system of healthy bacteria and viruses and fungi and things like that. I know it sounds gross, but science-wise, it's a home for your immune cells. It makes your neurotransmitters and your hormones, which make you feel happy, which boost your metabolism, things like that. And of course, it helps to digest and break down your food too. So what most people don't realize is, and we've just learned this over the past maybe 10 years in terms of health science, that your microbiome will directly affect your brain and your energy and how you burn fat and your thyroid and your metabolism. So it's pretty cool how much what's happening in our gut can then affect all the systems of the body, and the gut talks directly to the brain. Okay. And of course, the brain is the powerhouse of the body. So take care of your brain, take care of your gut. Both are important. And a lot of gut issues can actually manifest like those issues I was talking about before. Skin issues, hormone imbalances, you just feel tired and sore all the time. You have trouble, again, losing weight, or you're gaining weight for no reason. There's a lot of connections with the gut. The good news is you can definitely change your lifestyle and improve it. So it's not just with nutrition, but it's also looking at all the different stressors that might be affecting your gut. So I don't want to go too much into this because, again, this is going to be a whole nother presentation, but no, this is an area that you need to prioritize for overall wellness, not just now, but in the future. All right, another one, environmental toxins, number 4. And it's pretty crazy in America, how much we do not regulate what is in our environment and with our food and whatnot. And it's actually kind of disturbing, but that's what I do, is educate and empower you to be, oh, I did not know this, so now I can make better decisions. The more, once you know, then you know, right? So less than 2% of all the different chemicals, or I guess ingredients that are in our personal care products, beauty, makeup, things like that, skincare, cleaning products, our food, have been tested for safety, right? And for example, Europe bans, I think it's 3,000 plus different ingredients, and the America bans like maybe 35. So you can see there's just a big gap in where America's focus is on, right? They just don't care about regulating any of this. And neuroendocrine disruptors are brain is neuro and endocrine is hormone. And these are chemicals that are toxic to our body. And they're, again, found in, I'm going to show you on the next slide, top places. They're actually around all of us. They're on your carpet. They're in your plastic bags. They're, in your water supply. They're in your makeup, things like that. Okay. So all of these fill up our stress environmental toxin bucket. And that bucket can only handle so much. So when you just put that lotion on with the scent from Bath and Body Works once, yeah, that's not really going to do anything because you're exposed once. But what about the lotion every day and the makeup and the hair, and you haven't even left the bathroom yet, right? Then you've got the air fragrances and candles and things like that. The bucket gets higher. And so these have been linked to serious conditions like cancer, autoimmune issues, have hormone imbalances, fertility issues. So it's not just about, and it affects your gut. So it's not just about, oh, it's what I feel now. It actually is affecting your metabolism and your whole body in the future as well. Linked to all of these things. I'm not going to read them all. It's pretty extensive. You can see the connection here. So I call these the dirty dozen chemicals you can look at. Again, this is a whole nother topic that I'd be happy to do a presentation on, of like how to actually read labels, how to step-by-step get rid of these things and then make healthy swaps. But big thing would be anything like scented fragrance. Basically if you go into like a Walmart, but also like a Walgreens, and pretty much all the self-care beauty supply is, I would say 90% of it has all these chemicals. So they're more likely than not to have these endocrine disruptors. And so taking the time to swap these out into better, cleaner, safer ingredients is going to make you better overall. All right. And number 5, inflammatory foods. So kind of what I just talked about in terms of toxins and how our government doesn't really regulate what goes into our product. They also don't really regulate what goes into our food. And a lot of people get stuck on this is that, okay, I'm going to eat better. And one of the biggest mistakes I see is people focus on numbers and calories and restrictions, but not in the sense of good restrictions. Like I'm just going to cut out, a whole bunch of, I'm just going to cut out carbs, or I'm going to cut down on calories. But people miss looking at food as not just having it taste good, but also nourishment and fuel for our body. So you are literally made up of what you eat. Remember, your body eats for fuel, and that makes us how we are today, right? And so what happens is most of the grocery store, especially in the middle aisles with all the packaged items, are filled with ingredients such as white sugars, white flours, vegetable oils, things like that. And what these do is they are, again, more so chemicals and toxic to our brain and our body. Our body isn't meant to be having a cracker that has 20 ingredients and artificial things, and it just can't process that, right? So it rejects it basically, and it says, I don't know what this is, and it causes inflammation in the body. That's why I titled it inflammatory foods. And you'll see a theme at the end of this is that inflammation is at the root cause of all health concerns and why you're not getting the results you want, why you feel like crap. And so we have to find the root cause of inflammation and stress. And this is one big area. So it affects everything from, again, your energy, sleep, fitness, performance, weight gain, things like that. So we want to avoid, I say, like the big top 3 would be like anything, the white processed, the obvious, the sugars and the flours, but then like the diet food and the artificial ingredients and things like that. So again, what people miss is having normal whole food ingredients and not really having food products. So for instance, we don't recognize that most of the conventional animal products in the grocery store are filled with antibiotics and hormones, which affect our hormones. And I don't know about you, but I don't want other things in my body that aren't supposed to be there. Okay. So we need to make sure we're having good quality meat and animal products and dairy and things like that. Other things that people miss are like granola bars, protein bars. They'll just get like cooking like vegetable oil and not realize that it is causing stress within their body. So again, remember, simplify it is stress and inflammation are essentially the same thing. Like stress causes inflammation, inflammation causes stress. They go back and forth. Stress directly disrupts our physiology and our hormones, and our physiology and our hormones of what create the results we want. So not only do we have to do the lifestyle things of, yes, move your body and exercise and things like that, but looking deeper and making sure we're not missing anything. These are the 5 big areas that people miss. So that's why I wanted to talk about it, because I see it in my practice and I've seen the huge changes from just what people do, swapping things out and making changes here. All right, I'm going to pause and drink a sip of water. Going back to goal setting, you probably came to this with hopefully something in mind of what you wanted to get out of this. Goals for yourself in 2022 in terms of health, wellness, personal, development, all that kind of stuff. So going back to mistakes, we don't want something that's kind of with the, I talked about this at the beginning, we don't want it too broad, but we don't want it too unrealistic as well. So we really want to know why you want this. Use the SMART template, which is, I believe, on the next slide. Yep. And avoid having a really neutral, realistic expectation with ourselves when we set goals. And a lot of people don't set goals because they're afraid that they're not going to reach them again, or they're just what people are going to think, or they're going to have to actually really work for it. Like, I get it. Like, it's scary and it's nerve-wracking, but if we want to change, if we want different results, we have to do something different. So SMART Goals uses this formula. And it's really about taking whatever you want to, again, in the beginning, I said, I want to eat healthier. That's not specific, measurable, attainable, anything like that. And turning it into something like, I'm not going to have soda. I'm going to have a vegetable at every meal. I'm going to start tracking my food, and I'm going to do this within 2 months, something like that, right? This is an example of somebody that wanted weight loss. Again, why do they want, what do they want? What does health mean to them? Describe that more in detail, and then breaks it down. This is what I go through with my clients in our first session, because I really want to be on the same page with them, right? What do you want? Why do you want it? Talk to me more about it, so then I can know, and then we can work together to actually make sure, okay, this is a realistic plan, or no, this is not going to happen. Like, that's too extreme. We need to scale it back, because I don't want somebody to be disappointed, right? For a goal that wasn't even realistic to begin with. So if you have your journal, write down this action step. You can do it right now if you know, or otherwise take the time after this. But take your goals of why you want to be here, why you're here, and make it into the SMART format. So that way it is specific, measurable, attainable, which means like, it's action based. Like, you have to have some action, and then what's the result from that, right? And time sensitive. All right. You're still all here, so it's perfect. All right. Got a few more slides, maybe about 10 more minutes. So I appreciate your attentiveness and focus. So creating a plan. How do we know what we want, but the biggest thing is, what do I do? Where do I get started? I don't even know where to start, so I'm just not going to do anything. Chunk it down. You have this big goal, break it down, and really focus on time. I like time blocks. So what can you do in the first month? What can you do in the first week? What can you do today? Making it so specific that it's like, oh, I can totally just drink one more glass of water today. I can totally just have one less soda. Cool. Next week, do the same thing. I'm going to have this snack instead of this, right? So there's no guessing. There's no big barriers. So questions to ask yourself is, what do you need? What areas are you ready to get started with? Are there big barriers that you know you need to get out of the way? Because no matter what, it's just like, that's always going to halt you. We need to address those. So having your goals, monthly goals, intentions. Again, I like progress markers and milestones as far as like focusing on behaviors, not just the end result. I want to lose weight. I want to balance my hormones. I want to improve my gut health. Fabulous. How are we going to measure your progress along the way? Because you don't just get from 0 to 10 now. There are going to be things along the way, those like small wins, right? That we need to be aware of. And that's a progress marker milestone. And then weekly and daily action steps to keep you accountable. So second action step to do after this is brainstorm action steps that you can actually take towards your goal. Because again, greatest goal, you can have a plan and be like, "Whoa, this is great," but like, are you actually going to follow through and do it? Biggest question, right? So you want to make those action steps like you feel 9 out of 10 really confident you can do them. If you're under an 8, you're not ready for it, pick something else. Make this so simple and straightforward to start with that you feel like you can do it on your own, and maybe you've done it before, even better, so you can do it again. All right. So with all that, where do you start using a functional medicine approach? Where do I recommend you start with all this? Eat, move, think, biggest 3 pillars, right? With your health, mind, body, spirit. You also have all these listed down below. It's not just nutrition, movement, mindset. It's your whole, how you live your life all the time, right? All right. So number 1, going back to those inflammatory foods, we're going to eat whole, real foods, quality choices, right? So go back. Notice here is that you want to eat less of those packaged foods, more of the whole foods in the ingredient or in the grocery store. You've probably heard it before, like shop the perimeter, but not just shop the perimeter, shop the I say, when you're buying produce, the best way to do, buy organic if you can. And then like your greens and your softer veggies, try to get those organic. And then your harder fruits and veggies, like an avocado or a banana, you can just buy conventional. The reason I say this is because the pesticides and the chemicals are absorbed more into those like softer, more delicate produce. And you can't get those out. You can wash them really good, but they're still there. So try to get organic on those as much as you can. Same thing with your meat. Try to buy the best quality animal products as possible. Chicken, fish, poultry, all that good stuff. Look for the label that says organic, antibiotic, hormone free. They pay a lot of money to put that label on there because they have good quality. Tip is that I always buy in bulk. So once they go on sale, I buy like 5 packages, throw it in the freezer. You're good to go. Because I am still, you want to be efficient with your money as well when shopping. So moving, how to get more active during the day. Yes, keep your exercise in there if you're already doing that. Awesome. But get up, stand up every 2 hours. Most people have an activity tracker. So sometimes you can set it where it's like, get up and move. Okay. I use a standing desk, which is a riser. Great investment if you can. It's awesome. I stand 90% of my workday. Creating a step goal. So start with where your baseline is. 10,000 steps per person per day is not, it's a cookie cutter, right? So you start with where you're at and then you adjust accordingly. Stretches, ranges of motion, like shoulder rolls, like movement, all that kind of stuff. And going for a walk if you can. Any sort of, especially after exercise or especially after a meal, it helps with digestion and things like that. But just try to be really aware and creative of moving your body throughout the day. It shouldn't feel like you're exerting a lot of effort, but you'll notice actually an increase in your energy, and your body should feel better when you move more. And lastly, think. Improving your mindset. Journaling, keeping a gratitude practice is a fabulous idea, but it's not for everybody. However, keeping like a mantra, a positive statement, like put a post-it on your computer, put it by somewhere where you're going to see like a visual reminder. All of these things, if you can keep those positive, more neutral thoughts in your head, the better you're going to be overall. You're going to feel better mentally, be in a better mood, and hopefully your actions will follow. And then finding your community and building your support system and your accountability partner as well to make sure you have somebody on your side. You don't have to do this alone. All right, best ways to stay motivated and accountable, because again, a couple weeks from now, we're gonna be like, I'm doing really great. And then I don't have a lot of motivation. I need motivation. I hear that all the time. You don't need motivation. You need discipline and structure, and using that initial motivation for those low points, but not all the time. Talked about before is avoiding absolutes. So changing what you say. So instead of saying, I can't eat this or whatever, it's, I'm choosing not to do this. I'm choosing to do this. It's a choice. We all have choices. We make them every day. You're choosing to be here and watch this. You could have chosen to go through the drive-thru at Taco Bell. You can do whatever you want, but you have to own the outcomes and take responsibility for that. And so with that, starting with the words you use will affect your actions. I've said this like 5 times, but there's a reason why. Write it out, keep a visual reminder, kind of using the mantras and affirmations before, but what we just said with those action steps I had you write down. Don't just like throw this paper away. Keep expanding, put it like, make a vision board like I have, keep it there and present. So you're going to keep following through instead of just being here for this one meeting and then like, oh, okay, well, that was great. Again, I really want this, but you need to follow through. All right. Creating a schedule. Everyone loves schedule, even if they deny it. We need structure. And a lot of people don't put themselves first. They put themselves last. And they do anything for everybody else. And then I don't have time. I'm really busy. Well, what are you doing? Let's do an audit here. Let's be real. Like, how busy are you? Can you take 15 minutes for yourself? That's 1% of your day. You're worth 1%. Okay. But a lot of people in the beginning schedule that out when they're going to grocery shop, when they're going to exercise, when they're going to journal, whatever you need to do, whatever your barrier is. If you put it as a part of your day, you're going to be more likely to do it than if you just like leave it willy-nilly. Goes for pretty much anything in your day, right? Most people need a set time of when they go to work, when they do this, things like that. Short-term progress markers, we talked about this before, of behaviors and things that are happening along the way in addition to getting to that end goal. So maybe your end goal is really changing your metabolism and balancing your hormones, and you want to see some fat loss. Awesome. So what can we do to make sure we're getting there is doing photos, and how many times a week are you doing your exercise and hitting your step goal, things like that. That's going to make sure we know we have data to go off of what's working, what's not working. All right, building your support system. What do I do, for instance, as a practitioner and a coach? It's that education. It's the personalization of the program. And again, giving you tough love when you need it, but I'm always here to give you encouragement and support. I'm always here on your side. So why do people work with professionals? Because they're tired of spinning their wheels and doing it on their own, because they're not getting the results that they want, right? Or they're getting it, but it's like minimal. And then you're like, I'm tired of wasting time and money, and I'm frustrated and I'm stressed. Remember, I've been there too. So I completely understand. Why am I doing things and it's not working? This is why you reach out for help. That's why I'm here. So some fun things that I like to include that you can read is, this is what my clients will tell me is, for instance, on the left, she said that this is going into it, knowing it's a lifestyle. It's not a sprint, it's a marathon, right? One thing at a time. Then on the right-hand side, it's committing and knowing that you have that support system, right? Like, she will reach out to me and I'm there for her, and we just, we communicate. We need that open communication, and to commit to yourself and commit to the process. And so these are not, like, crazy, like, oh my gosh, I've never heard this before, but it works. This is what works for people, and it can work for you too. Again, here to help you. If this is something like the workshop resonated with you and you're like, I have that all or nothing mentality, I struggle with X, Y, and Z, I didn't realize my gut health was that bad or that important as well too, contact me. I'm here to help. I offer complimentary consultations. This is a time where I get to know you more than just, your health goals, but like, what's holding you back? Where do you want to be? See if it's a good fit. Because this is what I do and what I love to do, working with women one-on-one to be able to get their health to where they want to be. So these are some of the things that I help my clients with and what they're looking for. Really, I specialize in helping women, moms, get to the root cause of why they're not in the body that they want, right? Reshaping it. It's not all about weight loss, but feeling good in your own skin, feeling confident in wearing clothes that you like, right? Improving your energy, balancing your hormones, all of that using lifestyle and not using diets or quick fixes that you've done before and don't work because you've tried them on your own, right? Other things, I specialize in thyroid and adrenal and women's health in terms of hormones. Let's say you have bad PMS and periods and you just deal with it. You don't have to deal with it. You can actually get them better. Improving sleep, digestive issues, headaches, just overall anxiety and depression, that can also be helped with lifestyle as well. Okay. So again, like what I said in the beginning, is full transformation of your wellness. So it's a personalized plan is what I help you with that one-on-one coaching, one-on-one sessions with me to make sure that everything's still going well. What can I help you with? It's not just me giving you a plan and I never talk to you again. Guides, handouts, resources, things like that. A lot of education, because I want you to know why you're doing something, why I'm recommending it. But again, creating a lifestyle so you can follow through with this long term. group coaching calls similar to this, as well as just continuous support and accountability. So pause here. My background and my education is in functional medicine and holistic health. And people are like, I've kind of heard of this. I don't really know what it is. I'll use this picture. So we have an iceberg, and what you see on the top are just symptoms, but they're actually just being like diagnosed. Like, oh, you have high blood pressure. You have diabetes. Well, why do you have diabetes? Why? Where's the high blood pressure coming from? Is it from any of these things below? Okay, it's got to be stemming from somewhere. Functional medicine and my approach is I look for those things. Again, not just why you're not losing weight. Maybe it's that mindset belief, but it's also maybe, again, your gut microbiome might be causing you to have these issues. We can't just be, a Band-Aid approach and just fix the outside. We need to have a healthy you from the inside out. So it's looking at you as a whole person, not just like pieces and parts, and connecting the dots and empowering you to that we can actually take care of your health and not just be like, oh, here's medication, here's a surgery, here's whatever, or worse, like, I don't know what's wrong with you, I can't help you, bye. Like, and being referred out to another specialist. Like, it's frustrating. I've been there again. So this is what functional medicine is, and how I use it within my programs. Also, I wanted to invite you all, if you're looking to get started and you need some structure, and this 6 weeks to wellness program is new and it's coming February 1st, and it's an online group program. So if that's something that you feel like might work for you as a starting point, awesome. But this is going to go over 5 different key elements over those 6 weeks of what you need for wellness, kind of really expanding on what we talked about today, breaking out of that, again, all or nothing mentality. This is not a challenge. This is not a weight loss course. This is not it's not 6 weeks to weight loss. Like, it is about how do I teach you the resources to start doing things on your own, the foundations of your health, right? So if you have any of these, if you're tired of doing it alone, if you, again, are doing it and you're like, something's missing, this might be, if you like an online format, if you like a group format where it's a little bit more hands off, but you're getting that education, this might be an awesome option for you. I'm excited to be doing this live because you get the interaction with me, but most of it's still on your own. Self-paced in terms of you get all the resources, they're yours to keep forever. And then you have an online group chat, but you also get live chats with me. So we can log up, we can chat and say, hey, I have questions about this, blah, 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 videos, again, resources, etc. I'm really excited to do this, to be able to help that, small group, and building that community is what we talked about before. So price wise, try to make it really, affordable. It's $129 and it's $99 with this code until next week, because then after that we start Tuesday. Last day for registration is Monday the 31st, which is 2 weeks from now. Seems like a long time, but it goes by fast. So again, if this is something that you're interested in, I would definitely sign up now, register, get you already locked in on that price. And then if you have any questions too, I have all my contact information at the end. Like, is this right for me? Hop on a consult call. What do I do from here? Right? These are all some of the things that I help with, like, why work with me? What are the programs for? This is who I help, right? So if you're looking for a quick fix, I'm not the one to help you. If you are only looking to do weight loss, probably not the coach for you, right? So I'm 100% committed to you. And I ask for 100% commitment, not to me, but to yourself and the plan. And that's where the magic happens. So these, again, are the things we're all looking for, right? I want you to be able to take this webinar and then make action from it, not just like, okay, again, throw away that piece of paper. I want you to feel confident in your skin, knowing that you have the tools, knowing what works best for your body, and then doing it. That's the biggest thing, right? getting rid of your health issues that you've just been settling. Like, let's not settle anymore. You are worth feeling good, right? So let's do this. Please connect with me if you have any questions. Here are all the different ways you can connect with me if you haven't already. My website, my direct email, Facebook group, if you aren't already in there, definitely request to join. I'll see you there. The Facebook, that's my like business page. I'm on there, but I'm a lot more active in my Facebook group. So that's a great way. And again, having that community of women, there's about 3,000 in there, which is pretty awesome. And then Instagram, which I will post on there every once in a while as well. So I think that's the last slide. Yep. So I'm going to go back. So I'll leave that there. Awesome. So if anyone has any, I'm going to end up stopping the recording. And then if anybody does have questions, I'll stay on for a little bit and we can chat. All right. But if you're watching the replay, thanks again for being here and prioritizing yourself and your health. I really hope you got a lot out of this and this was helpful and empowering. And then again, please contact me if you have any questions and would like to talk about anything service-wise. So I'm gonna go up here and hit stop recording.